But do you think that there is an argument to be able, okay, and then you got to clarify all this for the political environment, but let's put the slavery issue aside. If Texas, California, Florida, whomever, one of the 13 colonies wanted to leave today through a democratic process, is that a right that a state should have? And can the U.S. then force them back in? Because you, when we discuss that issue, that to me, that's where the democracy question comes into play, because can a democratic vote get you out of this democratic process?
Yeah. The union can vote to dissolve itself, but you as a state cannot secede. That was decided. That was decided by the Civil War, and that was decided by 150 years, 200 years of Supreme Court jurisprudence since then. And Lincoln, in his Cooper Union address, actually makes this clear, right? This is the same language and same logic used by the Supreme Court thereafter, that the Union formed the states as much as the states forming the Union. There are a few exceptions to that. Texas is one exception to that, right? Hawaii is one exception to that. Vermont is an exception. There are a handful of states that actually were independent before they were states. Again, Texans are very proud of this. That's why we have the Lone Star flag, right? But that's not true for South Dakota. There was never a South Dakota before there was a union. The union created South Dakota. There was never a California before there was the union. So for most of the states, they have no existence that pre-exists the union. It is actually what I say to my kids, right? My kids, thankfully, we have a loving relationship. But my kids could say at times in their lives they don't want to talk to their dad, they want to disagree with their dad, whatever. But they can't dissolve our family. They will always be my children, right? They exist because of us, right? Because of my wife, and they cannot dissolve that, right? So states cannot talk to one another, but they have to be part of the union because that's where they come from. The union has made them just as mom and dad have made my kids, Zachary and Natalie.